wait, no, he didn't put anything. So why don't we check out, because like while I talked about Hassan's ban, I don't have all the information. You have to remember, when I do my information gathering, typically speaking, my information gathering happens like in between back and forth runs of me like working. So like I'm sitting at my work desk and I get, I occasionally will like scroll on Twitter or something and I'll see something, go, oh shit, news. And then what I have to compile, I basically have to do like back and forth, like from my work desk to my streamer desk, back and forth, and try to like find information. And I don't have like the free time to be able to gather information like individuals like Rev can. So that's why I like watching stories from Rev, is because he has the time to be able to put together all of this information from various sources on different sites like Twitter or regular websites, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why I want to see like what Rev has about Hassan's ban that I might not have been able to gather from from what little information I was able to glean in between working. So let's take a look and see what Rev has got in regards to the Hassan ban. Oh yeah, he's still banned. He's on YouTube though. He is streaming. I don't know if he's currently streaming, but I know he did stream on YouTube. So let's take a look.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So it appears that it's a very bad day to be Hassan Piker. Yes, we are once again talking about the biggest star on Twitch, or at least the most favored by their staff. Now yesterday, while Hassan was once again complaining about his mortal enemy, the slop tubers, aka anyone who criticizes him, his channel was terminated. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hassan Piker has suffered consequences on Twitch. I almost didn't believe it. But yeah, you look through his information. This is his 7th ban on Twitch.
So, okay, for clarification, 7th ban in 7 years. Bearing in mind, after you get your 3rd ban, especially in somewhat rapid sequence, it's supposed to be a perma. Bear that in mind. And he got 2 bans here. Yeah, he got, let's see, you got 2 bans in 2019. Got a ban in 2022, a ban in 20, and 2 bans in 2025, and then a ban in 2026. So these 3 in the rapid successions from March 2025 until January 2026, theoretically should have been a perma. And yes, the longest he's ever had is 7 days. And supposedly, this ban that he just received is going to be another 7-day ban. However, there's something interesting with the timing of this. I will see if I tagged Rev on this, so let's see if he brings it up in his video. There's an interesting wrinkle to this timeline that if Rev doesn't talk about it, I will.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 times this guy has been banned. And honestly, we'll talk about it later. It's amazing it's only 7. There's been so many other cases where he should have been banned and wasn't, but like I said, give that a minute. But yeah, it's official. If you go to streamer bans, he has been removed. And I think it's very...
I forgot to turn those off. Thank you, Vespasian. Thank you very much.
Very hilarious that people in the comments are like, isn't this the dude that abused his dog? Which is always funny that that's going to be his legacy for all of time.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
But of course, people are sharing the reason why they strongly believe, and I think they are correct in their...
No, I don't. I think that they're wrong. I do. Well, but we'll wait.
Interpretation, where he said this phrase that is violating Twitch's TOS.
You fucking rabid ultra-Zionist pigs. You fucking run around going, oh my God, Israel first, Israel first. Why are you tying this back to Palestine?
So yeah, in that clip, he calls him that phrase, which... Again, as we'll see with the TOS on Twitch, is a very clear violation. And you can like that, dislike that. It's just the rules, and that's the game he's been playing. But let's look into Hassan's reaction.
Yeah. this is what I showed you guys. He's molding like fucking crazy. As soon as it popped, what's the first thing he talks about? Fuck Israel and fuck ICE. And he just deteriorated from there. He's literally like, along with Asmongold, Israel has free rent inside of his brain. Everything for him is Israel. Literally everything. He has this psychopathic delusion that Israel is constantly after him, and he literally blames everything bad that happens to him on Israel. Everything.
Quoting streamer band saying F Israel and F ICE.
I should be fine, Engine.
And then you can see this reply. I can already hear him. Yes, the legendary series continues, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
But of course, people are confused. They say, how the F is this against terms of service? Let me show you. So they say, we prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur or to denigrate others in certain contexts, similar to other terms that may be used as a proxy for a protected group. We treat Zionists as a proxy for Jews or Israelis if the word is used in a context to promote harm or violence, or when used to make dehumanizing comparisons or perpetuate anti-Semitic stereotypes. Down here, it says, clear as day, prohibited example, Zionist, enter name of animal.
And he wonders why he got banned. She literally used the exact example that Twitch put out that is prohibited. He used the exact phrasing that Twitch said is an example of a no-no, and he goes Pikachu shock-faced that he got banned. You can't make this up. This is pure fucking cinema right here.
And that's literally what he did, okay? And before people say, well, he wasn't aware of that, he's very aware. Okay, he made a post back in April of last year calling out Ethan Klein for getting this rule added in. Again, I'll make this very clear. You can dislike this rule all you want. It is the rule. And Hassan was fully aware of it. Okay, but of course, we have people asking a very good question. Okay, if electrocuting his dog live wasn't enough to get him suspended, what was the red line for Twitch?
I'd like to expound upon that. If electrocuting his dog potentially twice live on stream wasn't enough, if calling for the deaths of sitting Congress people live on stream wasn't enough, if calling for the deaths of quote-unquote capitalists live on stream wasn't enough, if saying that America deserved 9/11 and that the thousands of deaths from 9/11 were deserved wasn't enough, if platforming literal terrorists on your stream live was enough, if playing terrorist propaganda live on stream was enough, if doxing someone and threatening someone live on stream wasn't enough, where's the line? Because, like, some people are right. This feels arbitrary. Out of everything Hassan has done for the last couple of years, him using the Zionist rhetoric, the Zionist insult, as and that's what gets him banned, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? It doesn't make sense that out of everything, this is what gets him banned. And I do think that this is what the result of the ban was. 100%, I think this is what the result of the ban was. But why is this suddenly the line when all that other stuff, to include what I didn't mention, insinuating child sexual assault when he did that famous line when he was pretending to be a gym bro about being old enough to count, and I'm not going to complete the sentence. That wasn't too much of a line. So why is this out of nowhere a line that Twitch is going to go, okay, we got to ban you for this? If I were to guess, when he said this line, there were probably a shit ton of reports that got thrown into Twitch. Like, maybe more than usual amount of people reported him for hate speech, and Twitch might have actually gone, okay, we might actually need to do something about this. That's the only thing that I can think of why this, compared to everything else that he's done, was suddenly out of nowhere a line that Twitch was like, okay, we have to issue a ban. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like, there's something fucky going on here, for sure, and I just don't know what it is. But yeah.
Again, very good point. Okay, it wasn't shocking his dog multiple times live on Twitch. It wasn't him saying that Gila Klein was a valid military target.
I forgot about this one.
It wasn't him saying that he doesn't have an issue with the terrorist organization, Hezbollah. It wasn't for playing terrorist propaganda live on Twitch. It wasn't for wink, wink, nudge, nudge, encouraging political violence. It wasn't for brandishing what he was pretending was a real gun and threatening to dox people. It wasn't for his comments about letting the streets run red with capitalist blood. It wasn't for interviewing a terrorist live on Twitch.
And by the way, that wasn't an interview. I need to make this distinction. This was not an interview. This was Hassan cock-gobbling a terrorist. That was it. It was not an interview. He was like 100% ready to get on his knees for this terrorist and start glorping his cock and gock. He did the whole thing of like, oh, I think you're just like Luffy. That's not an interview. That's terrorist glazing. That's Hassan wishing that he actually had the balls to do what this guy could do, which is a horrific thing, what this guy does. It's not like, oh, I wish I was good enough to be a hero like you, although that's what he said, his hero being a fucking terrorist. That's what this ended up boiling down to. Okay, so pretending that it was an interview is just that. It was Hassan LARPing, as he always does, as like someone that's like press related.
It was none of those things. None of those things got him a ban, but this one did. So I think that is a fair point to raise. If that was too much, how is this stuff not enough? Okay, and it's very funny too. We have this. Look who came to his defense. The same Houthi terrorist he interviewed, saying, they're upset with my friend because he tells the truth. We demand that the ban imposed on Hassan's account on the Twitch platform be lifted immediately. Otherwise, we will not use it again. Why does
a literal terrorist is making demands of an American company? Think about that. Because Hassan got banned, a literal terrorist is making terroristic demands of an American company. What fucking kind of clown world are we living in right now where this is reality? This is fucking insane that this even happened.
Does this person have a platform on Twitch? Are you kidding me? Is the bar that low? And also, imagine having someone call you their friend in this context. That is a bit of a self-indictment there. But of course, you guys know, both Hassan and his sweepers cannot have anything transpire without bringing in Asmongold. So here's the first example. This person is saying that Asmongold is making a daily call to violence on a specific politician and that a recent attack on her was his fault. Now, of course, this person...
Oh my God, really? Okay, you guys know about this quote-unquote attack against Ilhan Omar, right? You guys know about this, right? So those of you who don't know, quick context in case Rev doesn't talk about it. Basically, Ilhan Omar was I think it was in Minnesota. She was in a shitty basement somewhere giving a speech to a crowd of 12. And some guy that was sitting in like one of the front rows, jumps up, quote unquote charges, but it's more like he stumbled up to her and squirted a liquid on her with a syringe. Now, I'm not going to dig too far into the weeds on it because that's a whole fucking video in and of itself. But basically, in the context of everything that got happened, everyone thinks it's fake. The way, like, there's supposedly, like, she literally the second before the quote-unquote attack, she made eye contact with the attacker and gave him some kind of a subtle nod that he basically just squirted it at her chest when an actual attack would have been at the face. He didn't even try to run. Ilhan Omar, instead of acting defensively like a normal person would, like trying to like lift her hands to like cover her face or protect vital organs, just kind of just stood there and glared at him, and even went to go approach him after the quote-unquote attack happened. She didn't immediately get rushed to the hospital because who knows what the hell got sprayed on her. She's like, no, I'm gonna finish my speech in the wet clothes that she got, syringe sprayed with. It's all leading up to basically, like, it reads as 100% fake. It reads as staged. And my gut feeling on this is, it probably is staged, flat out. I will flat out say, I think it's staged. I think it's 100% fake. And you know why I think she did it? I think she basically, her and her stupid ass PR team were trying to go over, like, how can we increase this illegal immigrant's popularity. And my suspicion is someone came up with the genius idea of, hey, when there was that attempt on Donald Trump's life and he got shot in the ear, that skyrocketed his popularity. What if we try to replicate that? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I'm going. What if we tried to replicate the attempted assassination on Donald Trump? We could get more popularity. Only they did it in the dumbest fucking way possible that made it blatantly obvious that it was all fake, that it was all staged. Herein lies the problem. Nobody believes this was real. Everyone believed it was staged. And to the point where Asmongold was calling for violence against Ilhan Omar on a daily basis and whatnot, no, he said that he wants her deported. Asmongold has never called for violence against Ilhan Omar. He says he thinks that she's a criminal and that she should be arrested and deported, but he's never once called for violence on her. And to the point of fact, with this attack, I watched a video of his today, before stream. And he actually says in the video, in regards to the attack on Ilhan Omar, he thinks that it's completely unacceptable. Like, I don't know if he was kind of waffling on whether or not it was fake or not, but he said that even an attack on Ilhan Omar was unacceptable, and that he did say this would be an attack, even if it's just like a syringe with like what turns out to be like cider in it. He still quantified, like, this is still an attack. It's an attack on a government official, and it should be unacceptable. So he actually said, despite the fact that he hates Ilhan Omar with a passion and wants her arrested and deported, despite that, he did say that a physical attack on her like this is unacceptable. He flat out said that on his stream yesterday. So Mr. Hovagim is flat out lying. Flat out lying. He has never called for violence against Ilhan Omar. And in fact, decried the attack, the quote-unquote attack, on her. And actually said that what that person did was wrong. It was unacceptable for him to do that quote-unquote attack. So you're full of shit, dude.
Person brings zero examples to the table to support this claim that's not just already egregious, but also he's saying it's happening on a daily basis, but can't provide a single example.
Flat out lie.
Again, they're trying to sweep for Hassan, and they don't care how shameless they are while doing it. And then this person says, so Twitch is banning streamers for saying Nazis should be ended and calling Zionist pigs, but Asmongold's fine to continue spewing his bullocks. Well, I'm glad to tell this individual there is no rule on Twitch against spewing your bullocks. Okay, that is not something that violates.
Rev. It's a British word. It's bollocks, not bullocks. Bollocks. Speak into UK, Rev, please.
violates Twitch's TOS. But what does violate Twitch TOS is this right here. Okay, that is literally against the rule. We saw it lines up not just with a rule, but with a specific example provided below. But of course, Hassan would make his own quote over an Asmongold clip.
Oh, of course.
Saying, while most people are mad about the admin, Twitch is still trying to triangulate a position that will appease the right-wing lynch mobs online. This is why they banned me.
Which is so funny because for years, all Twitch has done is run defense for Hassan. That is literally all Twitch has done for years. For God's sake, they sang happy birthday to him specifically. They have not sung happy birthday to any other streamer that I'm aware of anyway, but they sung happy birthday to him. And all they do is run defense for him every chance they get. All of the times that he should have been banned for things that he said, he never did, because Twitch constantly runs defense for him because Dan Clancy has set up permanent residence under Hassan's desk. So this is him just cope, mold, seethe, stay mad, bitch boy, is what this is. Because now that, oh shit, there's consequences for my words, now he's mad and it's all about right wing. You notice he instantly goes straight to appeasing right wing lynch mobs. Straight to that. Anytime something is done against him that he doesn't like, it's always right wing. It's always alt-right. Every fucking time. Because he's a little bitch. That's what this boils down to. Hassan is a little bitch. He loves to pretend and LARP that he's some big pundit and that he's some big tough guy and that he's, you know, I'm the face of the liberals. He's a little bitch. The minute something doesn't go the way he wants, he whines and cries and seethes. That's the bottom. That's basically it. He's never going to be a political pundit. The Democratic Party is never going to hold him on high as the kingmaker of their party. They don't want him at any of their events. The last several Democratic events that he went to, oh my God, excuse me. The last several Democratic events that he went to, he literally got the you're not on the list treatment. So, yeah. He's like, he's starting to, like, the reality, I think, is starting to close in around him, and he's realizing that he's not the big badass liberal. He's the little bitch boy that everybody's been calling him for years. And he's starting to feel it. That's why he's been drinking so much, because we've seen him drunk on a lot of his streams as of late. Most of his streams that he's been doing, he's been drunk. He's been slurring his words. So he's in this spiral and realizing that his star is fading, and it's fading fast. And this is what happens when you get a little trapped animal, is they start lashing out at everything possible, knowing that they could easily get stomped.
And this individual, but they'll never ban Asmongold for saying way worse things. Citation needed. Okay, we went through all the crazy stuff Hassan has done over the years. I don't think in a one-to-one comparison it's even close to a fair one. Okay, and of course he's trying to say Twitch is appealing to some right-wing lynch mob, and that there's this awful, irresponsible, inconsistent company. Well, then why don't you leave? Why would you keep streaming there? If they're appealing to this very dangerous...
I can answer that question, because he's not going to be welcome anywhere else. Like, he streamed on YouTube today. Let's see how long that stream lasts before YouTube's AI slaps him. And let's see how long his popularity on YouTube lasts before it craters. He's not going to be welcome on Kick. Kick will boot his ass in a heartbeat. He's got nowhere else to go. That's why he stays on Twitch. Because up to this point, they have covered his ass for everything he does because he's the golden boy. Now, if Twitch stops covering his ass, he doesn't have anywhere else to go. If he tries to go full-time on YouTube, he'll catch a ban faster than he ever would on Twitch. Yeah. Given how YouTube's AI functions with mass reporting, he'll be lucky to last a week on YouTube before people mass report him for something that he says, and then his channel gets nuked. Twitch is the only place that has backed him up to basically say, yeah, we'll basically run cover for you no matter what you do.
Sort of rhetoric and ideology, why would you still stream there? I don't know. But now Hassan's continuing to crash out over various streamers who have talked about him in the past, including Los Polos, who we talked about a few days ago. You had a little scuffle with Hassan live on not only Twitch, but also on Twitter. And in wake of everything happening with this ban, people brought it to his attention on social media, and without even hearing Hassan's name, he already knew who was being referred to.
What's good, chat? You know what the funniest part is, bro? You know what the funniest part is? All someone said to me, literally, I got a DM. The terrorist is banned. So immediately I knew what they were talking about. That's what.
Come on. That's not a flex. Okay, that's not a flex. Who on fucking Twitch is known as the terrorist? One person. There's literally one person on Twitch that is known as the terrorist. So I'm sorry, this is not a flex of, oh, I knew exactly who you were talking about when you said the terrorist. No fucking shit, everybody does. You say to anybody, hey, the terrorist got banned off of Twitch, everybody instantaneously knows, okay, Hassan got banned. It's seriously, it's this is so obvious. It's like, don't act like, oh, I'm full smart. I know exactly who you meant when you said that. No, dude, that's not a flex. Sorry.
What people call him, but yeah, I don't know, but I mean he'll be unbanned. He'll be unbanned.
So Hassan would quote the clip I just shared with you, saying, "Go terrorize more donuts."
See, he's crashing out.
Fat shaming, but woke.
He's crashing
out.
Also,
it's very obvious. Hassan is very insecure about his physical appearance. If you bring up the chubby photos of him as a kid and teenager, he starts having a meltdown. In fact, there was a situation where a viewer basically said he's not working out enough, and he immediately permabanned the guy and said his life should be ended. He's very insecure about that. But of course, people in the comments were roasting Hassan, saying, "Stop terrorizing Kaya." Very fair comment. But then we get into Nick Fuentes, who had this to say about Hassan, a very extreme result right there. But they would go back and forth for quite a while in a thread, and Hassan was getting ratioed. And I don't think he likes being ratioed by someone like Nick. And he eventually responded to one of the posts by Nick and quoted him saying, "I'd rather be a class traitor than a gay Mexican manlet neo-Nazi. Racism and homophobia, but woke? Oh, but it's okay, ladies and gentlemen. The person he's talking about is a bad person. Therefore, Hassan gets the pass to do whatever he wants."
What have we said about the use of this word by people like Hassan and those of his ilk? It's specifically used to dehumanize, to make them a viable target. Saying this is specifically so his rabid, insane followers will know that Nick Fuentes, regardless of how you feel about him, is dehumanized and he is a valid target for his insane followers to kill. That's why they do it. He literally just tried to paint a target on Nick Fuentes by saying that.
Pretty crazy reaction to everything going on here, kind of showing his true colors, where if he feels like it's not going to be a social, or there's going to be no social punishment for what he's going to say, he'll say whatever he wants. Because if other content creators said this in any other context, they would be slammed by Hassan's community.
Yes, they would.
But of course, Ethan Klein would also react to this, saying, "How hard is it not to call someone a Zionist pig? The rule was made because of him, and he still can't control himself. This isn't some meta commentary about pro-Palestine voices being suppressed. It's really about one hateful idiot who has been handled with the white gloves and given every opportunity to not get banned.
Yes.
Very fair point from Ethan as well.
Yes.
But as a result of this ban, Hassan is going to be streaming on YouTube. Very fascinating stuff. Let's see how the moderation team on YouTube handles a Hassan stream.
Yes.
And quite frankly, while he's on YouTube, I would like to see this Jubilee episode right here. That would be an absolute banger. But overall, this is a very rough time for Hassan. He can cope and seethe and lash out all he wants. He finally got a punishment, and for the duration, I've heard a week. Because of course,
that's what
like,
I've
it wouldn't
heard
be
too.
anything significant. But I believe that ties his longest suspension. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. We know he's not getting permaban, and that's just the reality of the situation. And despite all of his complaints about Twitch being an awful, terrible platform, trying to pander to all these terrible, hateful groups, we know the second he's unbanned, he's heading right back, and he's going to continue being the golden boy over at Twitch, who will not ever see serious punishment for the very real and crazy things he's been doing for years. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
No. Didn't bring it up. I'm a little disappointed because I think I did tag him in on this. There's something else going on here that I'm suspicious about. Because along with this ban he's catching, you know what he's got coming up? I posted this today. He got banned for using the exact words that are outlined in Twitch's TOS violation literature 2 weeks before he's scheduled to speak at a college in British Columbia. He is speaking at the University of British Columbia on February 12th. And ironically, he gets banned less than 2 weeks before going to this speaking engagement. Very interesting. Gee, couldn't possibly have done this on purpose, specifically so he could try and act like some kind of martyr while lying to Canadians and pretending he's some kind of political pundit authority, could he? No, not suspicious at all. Here is my theory. He's molding out so hard about this. I have to wonder, and again, this, we're on freely main going to conspiracy territory theory. I have no evidence to support this. This is all just supposition. Prefacing this, it's all supposition. No proof on this. I'm speculating. What if he planned this out? What if he planned this out? He knew he had this engagement coming up. He knows that he's on a downward turn of popularity. What if he planned this out with Twitch and said, I'm going to say the bad thing that has never gotten him banned in the past, but I want you to issue a ban on me. I'll take a 7-day ban on it. That'll give me time to roll. That'll give me time to prep for my trip to Canada. And then when he goes to Canada, then he can say, yeah, the right, the alt-right, which is anything right of my extreme left opinion, they're so scared of me, they banned me because I said this thing. Not for all any of the other stuff that he said, where he's literally inciting violence, but because he said this thing, he caught a ban. Look at how I'm being victimized. So I'm the martyr, and you should listen to me. And I can indoctrinate you into my ideology. It sounds crazy, but if you think about it for a few seconds, it makes sense. He's planned out his bans with Twitch before. When he's caught a ban before, he's planned it out with Twitch, or he's corroborated with Twitch on when the ban is going to take place. You don't think it's possible that he worked something out with Dan Clancy, who fucking loves Hassan, and said, listen, give me a ban for 7 days. I'm going to say this, give me the ban for like a week or something, and then when I go to Canada and speak at a college, I can then use that to indoctrinate these college students in Canada by pretending to be the victim and the martyr. Doesn't actually sound all that crazy, does it? Compared with everything that he does, This doesn't sound all that fucking crazy, realistically speaking. And if this is the case, if this comes out, I don't know how it might, but if this comes out, fuck you. I already don't like the fact that Hassan is coming to Canada to speak to college students. I want him to stay the fuck out of my country. I absolutely want Hassan to stay the fuck out of my country. I want him to keep his poison out of my country. We're dealing with enough bullshit as is. We don't need to be importing Hassan's bullshit into this country. He needs to stay the fuck out. Seriously, no. If I had my choice, I'd have CSA turn him around at the border. In a heartbeat, I'd have CSA turn him around. In a heartbeat, go, nope, ditch your ass back to LA, bitch. Don't want him here.